Imagine a world where every breath you take, every mile you drive, and every bite you eat is policed like a crime scene. That's the dark underbelly of the 15-minute cities they're pushing so hard. The part everyone's missing? Carbon credits. It's not just about locking you into a tiny neighborhood. It's about turning your life into a carbon prison. But what exactly is a carbon credit? Well, it's their shiny new tool to monitor, track, and trace every single kilogram of CO2 you emit. They claim the global average needs to drop to just 2 tons per person per year. That's right, 2 tons. Meanwhile, you're supposedly churning out 16 tons right now. So, according to their math, your daily activities have to shrink by a whopping 800%. How do they plan to enforce that? Oh, it's genius, if you're one of them. First off, they're rolling out these new black Mastercards, your personal carbon leash. Every purchase you make will come with a built-in allowance, like a digital ration card from hell. Buy a loaf of bread? It'll flash a chart showing how many kilograms of CO2 went into growing the wheat, shipping it, and baking it. Grab a steak for dinner? Forget about it, that's off the charts in CO2 emissions. Meat's suddenly public enemy number 1, while they're pushing bugs as the safe alternative. But let's cut through the hype. Bugs aren't just an inconvenience, they're a long-term health nightmare. Research from sources like the European Food Safety Authority highlights how insects carry parasitic flora that can cripple your organs and lead to chronic diseases. That hard outer shell called chitin? It destroys internal tissues and sparks inflammation that might never go away. And don't think you can spot them on the label, they're hiding in plain sight. For those buying packaged foods, permission has already been granted for manufacturers to add insects to everything, from confectionery and baking products to pasta, pastries, and even drinks. But here's the catch. They're not labeling it as cricket flour or mealworms. Oh no, my friends, you have to play detective. They're using Latin names or codes to bury the truth. Remember these when scanning ingredient lists. Yellow mealworms? That's labeled as Tenebrio molitor. Cockroaches? Listed as Bladodea. House crickets? That's labeled as Acheta domesticus. Migratory locusts? That's labeled as Locusta migratoria. Lesser mealworms? That's labeled as Alphatobius diperinus. And that's not all. Watch for additives like E120, carmine from crushed cochineal bugs, or E904, shellac, made from insect waste. Ever bitten into an Arnott's Tim Tam? Those popular biscuits are laced with cochineal bugs, and most people have no clue. They're chowing down on crushed insects. It's a deceptive game, forcing bugs into your diet, while keeping you oblivious. These insects are reservoirs of parasites you can't easily purge. Think long-term health risks that could lead to serious issues down the line. And it's not just food. Head to your local restaurant for a quick bite. They'll slap a CO2 label on your burger or salad, making sure you feel guilty with every bite. Literally everything you buy will be tracked, traced, and tallied. They're even planning monthly spending limits to drag us down from 16 tons to 2. But let's get real, what does 2 tons per year even look like in practice? Take a second and pull up Google Flights on your phone. Say you want to hop from Florida to Paris for a family vacation. That flight alone clocks in at 431 kilograms of CO2. That's almost a quarter of your entire yearly allowance. But here's where the hypocrisy explodes. These elites get to fly wherever they want, on private jets that spew out 2 to 10 tons of CO2 per hour, depending on the model, without batting an eye. Take Ed Miliband, the former UK Energy Secretary, whose carbon footprint is a whopping 12 times that of the average Briton's, thanks to his endless flights and energy-guzzling homes, as exposed in the Daily Mail. Or Kamala Harris jetting to COP28 in a motorcade-fueled entourage, preaching climate action, while leaving a trail of emissions. And let's not forget Bill Gates, who's always trying to tell us how he buys special aviation fuel to reduce his carbon footprint. But that's just virtue signaling. His overall emissions are still massively larger than most people's, thanks to his private jets and global empire, as reported by outlets like The Guardian. It's the ultimate double standard. Then there's the politicians who get out of their jets and walk the last 300 meters to the venue, pretending they're doing their part, like at COP26 in Glasgow, where Boris Johnson flew in on a private jet and then strolled the final stretch for the cameras, all while lecturing the world on cutting emissions. And during COVID-19, these so-called leaders flew into the UK on private jets, skipping the 14-day quarantine that locked down the rest of us commoners. It's one rule for them, and another for you. Now, picture this nightmare in a cashless world, where the government, or whoever's pulling the strings, controls every transaction. That's why they're building these 15-minute cities. To put you on a free basic income tether, under constant surveillance, and force you to take whatever they call a vaccine. With the definition of vaccines flipped wide open like a Pandora's box, anything from experimental shots to who knows what could be deemed safe and effective by their cronies at the World Health Organization or the CDC. No opting out. It's all part of the control grid. But it doesn't stop there. They're deliberately pushing people out of rural areas, across the globe, buying up lands by the millions. Big corporates like Bill Gates, the same guy preaching carbon cuts, has snapped up vast farmlands in the US, as reported by The Land Report. Meanwhile, firms like BlackRock are gobbling up properties in Africa and beyond. If you try to grow your own organic food to stay self-sufficient, they'll slap you with claims that it has a higher carbon footprint. This is pure nonsense, peddled by regulations designed to crush you. In places like the Netherlands, farmers are being hit with strict limits on livestock through nitrogen emission rules, thereby sabotaging self-sustainable families and forcing them into cities. It's a calculated move to end rural independence and herd everyone into their monitored zones. This isn't about saving the planet. It's about control. They want to strip away your choices, your mobility, and your independence, all under the guise of fighting climate change. But if you're paying attention, you see the pattern. 15-minute cities, carbon credits, digital currencies, it's all pieces of the same puzzle, designed to keep you in line. So, what are you going to do about it? Don't just sit there, spread the word, question everything, and refuse to let them lock you into their carbon cage. Start by checking your food labels for those sneaky insect codes and demand real transparency. The more we wake up, the harder it is for them to win. Like, share, subscribe for more truth bombs. Comment below, what's your carbon credit horror story? Or have you spotted bugs in your food? Thanks for watching. Stay free.